So I've been looking at these new defamation lawsuits against podcasters, old ones as well. And it's interesting that there's this argument that, in the same way that we've moved beyond literal sexual harassment and sexual assault, and the legal concept has really evolved, elaborated, extended, expanded, amplified amongst the jurisprudence and the legal concept completely turned on its head. So in the same way, now you're starting to see the beginning stages of the same thing happening, but with defamation. What constitutes defamation? And there's this extension, this expansion, and this amplification. The lawsuits against Ken Soanes, for example, they say, irrespective of the truth content of what she's asserting, allegedly asserting, she doesn't have a right to say it because she's not a main voice. Therefore, any reporting that she does, any scoop, anything that is outside the mainstream narrative and what the mainstream news has reported on, is by its very nature calculated only for profit. By its very nature, motives are suspect. Not what she said, that's the problem. They don't have to prove true or false from the court. They know they lose court case. No, she doesn't have a right to say it because she's monetizing it. It's not whether it's true or false. She's monetizing it. And this has also led to like the kangaroo court show trial of Alex Jones and his podcast, where he wasn't even allowed to present evidence that's saying, hey, what they're saying about me, I never said. No. These are politically driven. But isn't it interesting, like from the point of view of epistemology and our theory of knowledge, how these court cases are really arguing that there's a true north. There's a pole, like a compass, like a plumb line, a pole, if you want to think of it in terms of that, where everything is oriented around a true north. But that's a very modernist way of looking at things. In the postmodern philosophical age that we're living in now, we're living in the postmodern epoch, we really argue for a multipolarity of interpretations. Multi-poles, various poles from which information can be derived. And my concern is that a lot of would-be conservatives are actually buying into a modernist idea because postmodernism is too often associated with the woke and with this kind of bleeding heart liberal, whereas, like Alexander Dugin said, at least whether he's been successful or not, I can't say, but his attempt has been to Christianize the postmodernism. It also has a lot of implications on the foreign policy arena, the stage of geopolitics, where the United States going into all the world imposing their idea of what a society, what a democracy and a society should be like. Saying, no, our interpretation is the only interpretation of what it means to be a liberal democracy. You have to abide by that. It's the same philosophy of the British imperialism, the 19th century. It's this idea of an evolutionary view of history, and we're evolving, and the other is barbaric. Whereas now there's really a framework philosophically to understand a new idea, multipoles, multipolarity. And this was the initial attempt, also structuralist anthropology, was to see, can we understand these other cultures on their own terms? Maybe come to agree with it, maybe come to disagree with it. Maybe just we come to understand it so you don't have to demonize it. That's my message for today.